Hi guys, Paul here.
Josh.
And Mike.
ManiacsMeat podcast. We're going back to the decade in review. We're here chugging along till 1984. That's when my sister was born.
No, she was born in
83, that's right. That's right. That's why it was such a shitty year in my life. I punched her in the nose apparently as soon as I saw it. I go, whoop, pop. There you go.
Ugly baby.
Boof. Hit it. Okay, so gonna do a brief rundown of what's actually on here for 1984. We have Chud, Cannibalistic Human Underground Dwellers, which I really thought was really cool when you actually see the guy from Home Alone in it.
Daniel Stern.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed Chud.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy,
the dad,
Mr.
the dad.
McAllister.
Oh yeah,
Mr.
Mr. McAllister, like it being like a
He
bohemian.
never
actually.
remember his name. I always
Yeah.
forget his name. He died a couple of recently.
No, really?
Yeah,
fairly
no, he
recently.
died. Yeah, he was also the dad on the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in. He's in a couple of like this oddball movies with parts of those guys.
I think it's just so funny to see him like an artist.
John Hurt.
John Hurt.
John Hurt.
John Hurt. There it is.
Oh, not John Hurt. John Hurt.
John Hurt.
Children of the Corn. Ugh. Firestarter, with that chubby baby.
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barry baby. And then of course you get I won the pony. I won the pony. Then we have obviously questionable film as far as the horror thing goes. Ghostbusters, and another one, Gremlins. A classic that we did already was Night of the Comet. And of course, the first time to shit the stain of the bed of the fucking post of the underwear, The Nightmare on Elm Street, who spawned countless atrocities. Silent Night, Deadly Night, and obviously a horror film, The Toxic Avenger.
Fuck you, man.
So there we go. So as soon as I don't know what he's doing right now, we're gonna come back to that.
Let's talk about.
Let's talk about things.
I heard a rumor about. We'll talk about rumors quick while Mike's out and about.
We got rumors.
I heard they're coming out with a TV show called Kruger,
Really?
and it's starring Robert Englund.
Oh, I was gonna say, and not Robert Englund.
Yeah, no, it's starring Robert Englund, and it's a prequel to Nightmare on Elm Street. It's about his life as just Kruger,
As Krueger.
as him being a
Krueger's
creepy child
and
predator.
let us all think it. It's all funny to think Freddy Krueger's so cool. He was literally raping and killing kids.
Yeah, he's
Does
terrible.
no one seem to really remember that?
I was
at all?
surprised
Like,
when they
What
did.
about Beetlejuice? That's all he was hitting on Lydia.
When,
The age gap between Beetlejuice and Lydia is terrible.
yeah.
Like she's clearly 14 and he's
Well,
100
I
and
think
some.
here's the best part of the Beetlejuice debacle is they made a cartoon version of it where they're just best friends.
Oh, he's friend zoned. Terrible.
But the thing is, I was like,
Terrible.
yeah, he was trying to have sex with her. In the
And she was 14. She's
Yeah.
14 in the movie. He's gonna marry her.
Yeah, and well, I was gonna say, what is this, India? That happens all the time. Yeah.
Wasn't she like 16 when we-
I don't know.
I think we just discussed it at work. I
Old
think
enough
it
to
was
pee,
14.
old enough for me.
But even then, 16, she's still underage.
Yeah.
Like-
Unless you're in Japan, because that's 16.
Japan.
16's legal age.
Japan.
I'm just saying.
So what movie did you pick for
So,
1984?
I don't know. There's a lot of choices here, and of course, half of them are not even horror, so that you can't even pick them because that'd just be stupid. So I'm saying for my pick for God, my nose fucking itches. 1984 was the one that we did too. Was Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet is my pick for 1984. And your turn?
I'm going with Ghostbusters. I'm gonna fight that to the death.
Ghostbusters.
I'm telling you, Ghostbusters is a horror film.
Is it because Rick Moranis was in it? It was a nightmare.
No,
No?
You know what? It has all the elements of a horror film. It has the spookiness, the ghost.
Yeah.
It has some slime, and I mean, it's got zombies.
So what you're saying is Harry Potter is essentially a horror movie because it had a spooky ghost in
We
it.
won't play prototype.
And I mean, like, I think a lot of people don't get that. It doesn't have. You don't have to. I don't know about. I always people say, well, it's not scary. If you're watching any horror movie, literally shaking, scared to death, you're just a pussy. There's not a horror movie I sit there and go, oh my god, I'm terrified.
I'm terrified
No.
that people actually believe in religion. That's what I'm terrified
It is
about.
a scary thing.
It is a scary thing.
But I think literally Ghostbusters qualifies as a horror movie because it has all.
The trope.
Everything.
It's got the trope.
It does.
It's hitting the boxes.
And
It's hitting
people,
the boxes.
just because it's a family fun horror.
Mhm.
I mean, let's talk about the Willies.
Right.
That's another.
Monster Squad.
Monster Squad is another family friend horror. Monster Squad
Actually, it's really good.
is really good.
It's really
But
good.
Monster Squad also has the same tropes as Ghostbusters.
Yes.
where it's got the comedy, it's got the horror, it's got the good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I consider Ghostbusters a horror movie. So
Yeah.
fuck
All
off.
right. Yeah. And I mean,
I always read Ghostbusters as a comedy with horror elements,
It's
as
like a
opposed to a
dark
horror
comedy.
movie with comedy.
Yeah.
What about
elements.
Gremlins?
well, Gremlins is obviously not even close to a horror film. And anyone
I actually
thinks
don't,
it's a stupid
don't have
movie.
I don't have Gremlins in my horror section.
Yeah. Where do you have that?
I think I actually have it in science fiction.
Or like a kids film.
Science fiction?
Science
I
fiction.
think so.
They didn't come from space.
I know.
Ninja Turtles are more science fiction, I think.
They came from space.
They came from space.
I think it might be under science fiction.
I don't know. So what's your pick from 1984?
I actually also picked Night of the Comet.
Night of the
For
Comet.
my-
Oh,
two,
winner,
two,
winner,
three.
chicken dinner. Because it's just, I love the fact that it's 80s chaos at its finest.
It is
It's just
post-apocalyptic.
80s. Yeah,
it's-
post-apocalyptic.
I
Nothing
have-
makes sense. Everything's LA and crazy
Yeah.
and big hair.
I have fond memories of it from being a kid
And it's got zombies in it.
and zombies in it.
Yeah.
You know, though, it was hard for me because, and I don't even really consider this a horror movie, but I really enjoyed Firestarter a lot.
Okay.
And that's what kind of runs in
But
the
you
same
like
vein.
Scanners.
I like this. It runs in the exact same vein as Scanners, and that's
Yeah.
why I just kind of.
Isn't Firestarter a Stephen King movie?
Yeah. There's actually a lot of Stephen King films all throughout here.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
all throughout
Steve-
this time period, Children of the Corn. I like Children of the Corn also.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, but you like Christine too.
I like
so
Christine.
That makes
I,
sense.
well, you know, we'll do
Yeah,
that.
that's
We'll
another
do that.
episode.
We'll do
Honestly,
We already
that
know.
at some time.
the 80s was like Carpenter and King.
Yes.
Now, obviously, we're talking about because there's a lot of people. Okay, hold on. There's another fucking bitch fit. There was a poll, and it said what decade had the best horror films, and everyone picked the 80s, which is fucking wrong because it's the 70s. The 70s had the best fucking horror films, and everything that the 80s did just echoed what already happened in the 70s. And guess what? Halloween was made in 1978. You fucking idiots!
Ooh, who's telling you it's in the 80s?
A lot of
Huh?
people say some-
I've heard
No,
so
it's
many.
not.
I've heard so many people. What's your favorite '80s horror? They put down Halloween.
Oh my god. I know. I don't. I got that a lot with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, too.
It's
I
a
don't
'74.
Halloween 2 came out in 80.
I think
81,
what it
81.
is, I think what it is because that was an era where VHS were becoming a thing.
It's an era of people not knowing what the fuck they're talking about.
I think it's also and this might sound crappy, but our generation,
Are idiots.
and you know, we grew up. Mike Myers is in the big heavy hitters as far as horror characters go. You know, he's
Yeah.
right up there with Freddy and Jason and Leatherface and all those guys. And I think a lot of people just make the assumption that Mike Myers and Halloween
Shit.
came out in the 80s due to the fact that everybody else is from the 80s.
Yeah,
So
everyone.
well,
he
they-
was
yeah, they're like,
guilty
they-
by
Yeah,
association.
exactly.
I'd like to say this too. Elvis Juice is fucking garbage.
Not very.
You
good.
know what,
It's
Peter?
very-
I'm sorry. It's fucking horrible.
It's very thin.
It's horrible. It's completely fucking trash. Fuck Brewdog, you pieces of Scottish shit. And of course they're
Good name.
they're punks that wanted to be all like that, but then they got money, so they're all shills, and you should probably kill yourself. Anyway, so you picked
You
Night
said
of the
punks
Comet.
with money.
Yeah.
I think-
Those words
I think
can
that was-
contradict themselves.
No, they really, yeah.
Terribly.
Yeah, it's really literally what they
You
are.
can't be punks with money.
No, yeah.
You become Green Day then.
No, exactly. You're lollipop punk now. Yeah, no, they have a whole thing called equity for punks, where they have like
Oh,
a profit
fucking
sharing
heck.
thing. It's
I
like
didn't put question marks next to Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you did. You-
Ghostbusters is hard.
Because I didn't consider them.
So here's a
full-on
question.
horrors.
Here's a question. Okay, later we'll suck each other's dicks, but okay. So Ghostbusters is a question mark.
Yeah.
Gremlins, there's a question mark. The Toxic Avenger, there's no question mark.
There was going to be a question mark. Actually, I was I was doing the list. I
what
got-
makes Ghostbusters not a horror movie?
Because I
It's
view it as
stupid.
a comedy with horror elements as opposed to a horror movie with comedy elements.
If it was a true horror film, she would have been naked on top of that tower.
But realistically, I mean, it has all the same tropes as like a regular horror movie.
Well,
you have
I mean,
ghosts.
there's-
You
I mean,
have.
there's not a
You
lot
have
of- There's a lot of people in matching outfits dancing in the street and stuff and having a good time.
that's marketing. That's
It's
not
not.
the movie.
Oh, I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
think.
like-
I don't. Personally, I don't
baseline.
think that Ghostbusters is serious enough to be a horror film.
So seriousness comes into play.
I think so.
If you are
So
like,
Gremlins, because Gremlins dancing in a bar around white
bad.
fans.
Question mark.
question mark.
Yeah,
There's a
but I
question
mean, like,
mark.
but
There's a question
but,
mark right there.
but it's classified as
Look, here's the same thing. Army of Darkness, which we discussed,
and it's
in
not a
the-
horror film.
is not really a
No.
horror movie. That is as comically written.
If we
and
were talking
comedically
about
written as-
Gremlins, right? I would give you Gremlins 1 as a horror because it's dark and it's kind of
So
creepy
dark,
and
it
all
is
this
dark.
stuff.
Gremlins
Like
2
you know,
definitely.
but Gremlins 2, I can't give you that at all as a horror film. I
I
can't
will-
do Gremlins 2. Like
Can I
it's like
point
not
something
even
out?
close.
I don't know how many other people have caught this. It's one of my favorite parts of Gremlins. It's always flown under the radar. When he is at the Inventors Convention,
Mhm.
if you look in the background,
The time machine.
The time machine.
Uh-huh.
H.G.
It
Wells' time machine.
disappears.
It disappears,
Yes.
and then there's a guy walking through the space, moving
Yeah, he
his arms
touches
around.
it.
What the-
I've
And the
seen
first time I noticed that, I laughed so damn hard because I watched the movie for years and never.
I always prefer the bathroom buddy. I want the bathroom buddy.
Is it one? I mean, there's a lot of actually. Come to think about that convention, there's a lot of funny shit going on.
Mhm.
Like the robot in the telephone booth with the telephone. He's talking to
Yeah.
the telephone
Mhm.
from Forbidden Planet. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of shit going on in that movie, and
This is what happens when you have a 3-year-old in the house at the same time. It's just going to be complete chaos. So we're going for Night of the Comet. Night of the Comet. So we actually picked a real horror film, and you picked a fake horror film.
no, it's a fucking horror film.
But it doesn't matter. You picked your favorite from.
I can't even. You know what pisses me off is I can't even because I really want to challenge it. I really want to put it on a poll and say
Pool.
is I want to put it on a poll.
I was gonna say you want to drown it. You want to put it in a pool. You're like that's what I did with my couple of my babies.
And I want to say, ask the public, is Ghostbusters a horror film? But it's going to get the same no because they sell it in the family section
Yeah.
at any place you go to buy that movie. And I don't understand why anyone would say,
Do you think the writing caused that trepidation? Because they wrote it in that more
well, you have
kind of.
comedians. You
Yeah,
have guys on
that's
Second
right.
City TV and Saturday Night Live who are
Yeah.
all part of this. But, like, for some reason, I want to think,
Would
okay,
you enjoy Ghostbusters as much as you do if they went full scale horror with the film? Like dark, no comedy, nothing like that.
that's
Just
like,
straightforward.
I think what you guys aren't understanding.
No, I'm saying like,
and I think
I think that if they went, it would miss the point of the film.
I think
if they went.
I think
full
what it
scale.
is, and I think this is where you guys aren't understanding, is because I am such a diehard Ghostbusters fan that I read the comics, the books, I know the backstory. It's really dark.
Yeah.
The problem is you guys only know it based off the movie.
I'm just saying, if they made the movie 100% no comedy, only serious
What I still like it.
horror, would you still like it as much?
Are we talking about the same budget, like as far as special effects and everything?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Because the
just- I-
special
I-
effects is what sell it to me.
I would
Like,
say that Ghostbusters has that kind of nice memory because of the comedy and stuff for me.
Yeah.
Not so because it
that's
was,
like to me, like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, all those guys are added bonuses. Which I want to point out
Mhm.
that Dan Aykroyd's character is based off of his grandfather in real life.
Right.
Who his grandfather was a paranormal investigator
Right.
in real life.
And they had the farm.
Yeah, and so I mean, like realistically, I think if you took out all the comedy elements,
Mhm.
it would still just be just as enjoyable movie.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, when I was a little kid,
I always found the ghost busting part completely fucking boring.
what do you mean, like with the proton packs and stuff?
Yeah, the whole of them finding ghosts and fighting them, I just thought was completely fucking boring. I actually like them fucking goofing around and talking and having fun and like the backstory more so than the actual point of them being Ghostbusters because they were funny fucking people and they were doing funny shit. And I liked it as a comedy.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
Ghostbusters. Here's the thing: Ghostbusters is just brilliantly written.
Mhm.
It is such a beautiful film.
but it's written as a comedy.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
It is written as a comedy.
Yeah.
And I believe it was originally supposed to be even more comedic in the original draft.
Well, that ruined
Yeah.
Because-
You got John
teenage-
Candy
because-
in the original casting.
Oh, really?
Belushi.
Oh.
Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy
Eddie
was supposed
Murphy.
to play. Ernie
Yeah,
Hudson
Jim
was
Belushi
supposed to
was
play,
Jim
Winston.
Belushi was
Jim
never.
Belushi died right before
Yeah.
Jim
that.
Belushi was never funny
But
ever.
oh,
But-
you're fucking. I
but
can't
I mean,
even right
Ever.
now.
He was never
Seriously.
funny. He has
But I
never done
believe
a
it was
single.
originally
He have
written
never
to
made
be
me laugh once.
Bluto?
in my life.
Harder comedy.
Yeah,
Blues Brothers.
yeah,
Blues Brothers
it was
is
stupid.
great. No, but it's not as good as like Animal House. Like
Yeah.
yeah, no.
But I mean,
You're too one side street.
Ghost-
We can't talk about it.
Ghostbusters as a film is just so well written.
Okay.
The jokes, and this was the big reason why I disliked the 2016 version.
Oh, terrible.
Are we talking about the
because-
girls?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
all
that's
female
horrible.
cast is they went.
And there's
in
no
the
such thing as a
direction-
funny woman, by the way. They don't exist.
They went
I've
in a
never really laughed at
direction
any
Yeah.
females.
of this newer comedy stuff is a lot of ad libbing. Like you get all this stuff with just stupid the Hangover movies, like Zach Galifianakis, and it really was Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn,
Wow.
where they just
Wow.
they just riff and like then they take the scenes that they like and think are
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
They tried to do that, I think, with the new Ghostbusters
Mhm.
movie, and it didn't work because part of the beautiful thing with the original Ghostbusters is it was writers and actors that were comedians that
And
knew their
really
craft,
well good at
and
it.
they
Yeah.
and they did it precisely. They did it
Right.
the way it was supposed to
Right.
be done, and it worked great because of that.
And you can't do it again.
Because, and honestly, you know, the story to the 2016 Ghostbusters, the plot idea, I didn't think was a terrible plot idea. I really didn't. Because
Right.
I sat through that piece of trash.
Twice, I know, twice.
Yeah.
But I didn't think the initial plot line was bad.
No,
It was
right.
just the comedic notes in it did not land. They
Right.
did not land.
I like the backpedaling by the. Well, for starters, you have a guy, the guy who wrote and directed the movie is known for working such as like The Office,
Mhm.
Parks and Rec, Freaks and Geeks,
Yeah,
all great stuff, not in the horror realm.
yeah.
So now you have a guy who's not really dabbling much in horror, writing horror movies or spooky movies or whatever you want to call it, which is he's out of his element, and you can clearly tell in the movie.
Mhm.
You know, like I agree with you. The plot premise itself is not a bad idea. A guy going around the city, putting up what do you call them, boosters to you know
It amplifies supernatural
yeah,
activity.
absolutely.
and
It's a
stuff.
genius
I mean,
idea.
It was a good idea.
But the fact that like you have people like Leslie Jones who just aren't funny. Melissa McCartney is just fat and loud, and just because you're yelling stuff doesn't make you funny.
No.
You're like Dane Cook. Just because you could relatable doesn't make you hilarious.
I
I'm
like
sorry.
her in Happy Time Murders. I mean, there are Melissa McCarthy movies that I enjoy. Like there are. Like,
Jim
some-
Henson's
some
rolling
movies-
in his grave
Yeah,
with that
I'm
movie.
Sure.
He is.
But I mean,
I was gonna buy it and I never did it. It's from like 1979. It's called Let My Puppets Come, and it's actually a porn. And I was gonna buy it, but I didn't have enough money.
Just get Meet the Feebles, man. Meet
I
the
had
Feebles.
me
already have it.
sitting in there. Yeah.
Meet the Feebles is the shit.
But it was
Peter
pretty-
Jackson.
But like I said though,
Pretty good.
like you know, like Jim Henson didn't want to even do the fucking Ninja Turtles movie because he felt it was too violent.
Yeah.
So here his kid makes the Happy Time Murders. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh my god.
oh, he's
Yeah.
probably just like no.
With his money.
yeah,
Yeah,
with his
I
name.
don't know. I think Ghostbusters. You know, whether or not you want to classify it as a horror movie or whatever.
I hate that word horror though because realistically, it's like I'm never. How many times have you ever sat down and actually were scared of a movie and go, I'm
Well,
terrified?
I like that. I like that.
Like-
Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing were doing an
I tend to
interview.
get more.
And they said the same thing. We don't like the word horror because horror is
Yeah.
something like like Nazis and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
torture and
I actually-
you know that's horror.
Tend to be more freaked out by movies that are classified as thrillers, way
Yeah.
more than.
Yeah, and then that's
Some
what he
that's
always
more
said. He always
realistic
said
than-
their films, no matter what they were adventures and
Yeah.
mysteries and suspensefuls and
Yeah.
all these. Like he didn't use the word horror.
Because I actually find the Mothman prophecies is one of the scarier films I've ever watched. To be totally
That is
honest.
more of because that more is more of a psychological, realistically could possibly happen. I don't know about the Mothman part of it, but I'm talking about like literally like being stalked
Yeah.
and just weird shit, like Strangers,
Mhm.
like.
Strangers, some weird ass guy comes.
But
in and does some
realistically,
weird
that
shit.
scene in Strangers where she's sitting there at the counter drinking and you just see the dude peek his head, he's already in the house. To me, that's more fucked up than like saying like watching.
Well, like
Nightmare
when
on
a
Elm Street.
stranger calls.
I can't put
Yeah.
Nightmare on
It's
Elm
pretty
Street
weird.
seriously as a horror movie because I sit
Yeah.
there and go, "There's no dream demon coming to kill me in the middle of the night."
I mean, like when a stranger calls back in the day was probably pretty damn scary because it could
That
really
would
happen.
be more registered as a horror movie. Than
And I love like any kid that is gonna babysit should have to watch that film first before they get sent home and babysat. Like I'm gonna have my daughter watch that before she babysits someone. I'm just gonna call the house a bunch of times and breathe heavy.
check the children.
But,
Yeah.
but I guess ultimately at the end of it,
Blood.
you take all the movies from 1984. Ghostbusters is still in the very, very, very top of all the films from 1984, not just.
What's your least favorite film from 1984? We're gonna read off the thing again.
read them off
Well,
again for me.
Chud,
Uh-huh.
Children of the Corn, Firestarter, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Night of the Comet, Nightmare on Elm Street, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and The Toxic Avenger. I'd have to say Children of the Corn or Firestarter would have to be my least favorite off that list. Children of the Corn,
You know, here's the thing: the 1984 list, I actually enjoyed like
all of them.
all of them.
Yes,
I really
right.
do.
Yeah.
For me, and I know I'll get flack for this.
Probably. If you said Christine last time,
I,
probably.
Yeah.
I know I'll probably get flack for it, but probably Silent Night, Deadly Night is
Oh.
one of my lower on that list.
Right. Well, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I didn't dislike it by any
Right,
stretch of the
right,
imagination, but just in comparison to all those, yeah, it's probably down there for me.
I mean, this has been a pretty good year in review for the decade, and so
Yeah.
there we go. And
Yeah.
might as well just end it there because we got a bunch of more bitching to come up
What about you, Josh? What's your?
Firestarter. So.
Firestarter sucks.
Yeah, Firestarter.
I love.
Well, I mean,
Firestarter.
Firestarter.
I mean, I'm not counting just you said Silent Night, Deadly Night. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silent Night, Deadly Night for me as a kid, I remember literally walking. Like I was I remember walking into the movie, the rental place, and seeing Santa Claus
The cover.
with the axe,
Axe.
and I just
Cover.
because that just put a twist on Santa for me. I go, oh my god, he kills people. They're bad.
The Silent Night, Deadly Night cover is very iconic.
Yeah, I mean, like I love that cover. I mean, like I said, when I first saw it, my heart sunk as a kid because all I could thought was Santa killing bad kids. I'm like, I gotta be good.
Yeah.
He's gotta come and kill me.
And we all knew you were a spoiled bad kid.
I was a spoiled bad kid too.
So you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. But like Firestarter, though, was one of those things where I just didn't understand I mean, I got the premise, I knew the movie, but it just wasn't appealing to me. It was kind of boring. It was kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, no. I get
You
it.
know,
No,
it's up there with like
totally fair,
Carrie.
yeah.
It's up there with like, and I'm not bad.
I like the fact that they took those things and they improved it with Jason Part 7. Friday the 13th
Yeah.
Part 7.
Yeah.
So that, but then put this giant murderer
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
too.
yeah,
That's
no,
like,
no.
hey. Because the Part 7 is actually my favorite Friday the 13th film.
It is mine
It's
too,
pretty
yeah.
fucking fantastic. Okay, so there we go. This has been Paul.
Josh.
And Mike.
Here we go. 1984 coming up with 1985. Bye-bye.